Hello, everybody. Let's talk about selling homes with ADUs or accessory dwelling units. Hi, my name is Roxanne Govari with Pemberley Realty here in San Diego, California, along with my partner, Santiago Guerin.
Hello, everyone. Another good topic today. Another very good one on how to sell homes with ADUs. A lot of people might, agents out there might not know much about them, but we have a very good expert here with us today, and maybe teach you a little bit something new today.
And before we go any further, please give us, if you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel and click on the notification. So as we are posting new videos, you are notified and you can join us for our videos. And if you are watching us on Facebook or Instagram, please give us a follow so that you're also able to get notified for any further videos that we put on. So let's talk about ADUs.
Yeah.
So in the city of San Diego, those ADUs are very popular and they're popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
And one of the desired functions that at least the homeowners would want to see, as well as agents, to create more listings, is whether or not they can separate those ADUs from the home and then sell them separately.
Yeah.
And to this day, the city of San Diego does not have any solutions for doing so. In other words, if you're building an ADU is part of the home, but it is not possible to separate that ADU into a different unit to be sold separate from the original property. So those are within the laws that we have in place. And now we do have situations, especially in the city of San Diego, some of the parts within San Diego, for example, the beach cities like Pacific Beach, Mission Beach, Oceanside, La Jolla, not so much, but if you go to Imperial Beach, any of those areas, you do have a lot of two families, basically either duplexes or two to four units where you have multiple units within the same property. And so those are also some other very popular products that exist that can be sold if you're talking about multi-units on the same property line. But with today's construction, if you're talking about an ADU that's being built, those ADUs are generally you're not able to separate them to sell them separately.
Okay.
Some areas that allow you to basically, if those areas are zoned differently, like they're not zoned as single family, then you are able to condominiumize the lot. And for that to take place, the lot needs to be a minimum of 10,000 square feet. And if that's the case, if the lot is over 10,000 square feet, and if the city laws allow it, you should be able to separate the two homes from each other and then sell each home separately.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if the zoning allows it, you're able to basically, you can't separate the lots and sell them separately, but you can condominiumize the lot, meaning that let's say if there's two units between the two units, you own the land, but
Yeah.
uh, uh, you can have two separate owners that own the inside of their own unit, and
Okay.
they share the ownership of the land. So that's what condominiumizing
Yeah.
the unit would be. And now, if you're thinking about ROI or return on investment, buying a two family or four or 2 to 4 unit multi-unit is a very good return on investment, because generally you're buying 2 units for less than you would if you bought just one property.
Yeah.
And so benefit of buying into something like
Yeah.
this.
And what are some of the requirements? I know you're talking about the two to fours, but let's say you want to build an ADU. What are some of the requirements that the city of San Diego makes you for it to be like in compliance with the ADU?
So um, there's a ratio of how much you can build based on the size of the lot,
Okay.
and there's calculations that go with that, and it's a little bit of a complicated calculation, at least in my head.
Yeah.
But the ratio needs to be there for you to be able to
Yeah.
build on onto that piece of land.
Yeah.
And let's talk about, okay, so we talked about zoning within San Diego. We didn't talk about the rental potential of an ADU. A
Yeah.
lot of the times when you are building an ADU, especially in today's environment, if you have a piece of land and you decide to build an ADU, you can build the ADU for about 250 to 350 per square foot. Some
Okay.
areas of San Diego, if you were to go and purchase a property, you are purchasing the property at about $800 to $1,000 per square foot. So this is where you can see that building an ADU would actually be be beneficial, because you end up with a much cheaper alternative if you need to create housing, um, in buying in um, building an ADU versus in buying a brand new house.
Yeah. And what about for, our agents out there? How can you market your a home that has maybe the potential of an ADU? What are some, or how, if you have buyers who are maybe interested in building an ADU, what's the best way to go about it? Would you look for homes in a specific area that are more compliant than others? What are some tips you can maybe give to our agents out there?
So I think when if you're working with a buyer that's interested in purchasing a property that has ADU potential, you want to look for a property that has a good sized piece of land.
Hmm.
You want to look for a property that either has a good sized piece of land or has a good sized garage that can be converted to an ADU.
Yeah.
And you also want to look for a property that either is a corner lot or has alley access.
Okay.
And those are reasons because accessibility plays into the cost of construction. So if you have a property that has a corner lot,
Yeah.
and you can bring an excavator and pull out all dirt and remove it cheaply, but with machines, then that's going to be a lot more reasonable to basically prep it for building an ADU, rather than a house that you have to doesn't have alley access, doesn't have a corner lot so that you can easily get in and out of there. Then you'd have to hire labor, and that's going to end up being a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So so accessibility in order to build an ADU is one of those. And then of course, um, the size of the lot matters, right? Because if you buy a property that's 3,000 square feet and you already have a 1,500 square foot house on it, then your ratio is another 1,500 square feet. How much ADU can you build on that? Not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So you want to look for some property that has a decent sized yard, meaning like for a city of San Diego, 5,000 square feet or higher, so that you have a good size lot that you can build on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then what about if you're a seller and you're considering selling? Would you want to sell, maybe think about having the ADU and then maybe selling the property to get more out of it, or do you think it's just better to just market the potential of the ADU addition?
I think it all depends on your pocket, where
Yeah.
you're at, right? But in general, um, if you have the money to build, then of course you're operating as a developer, and that would be good.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the money to build, then marketing the potential and trying to find developers that would be interested in building, uh, that would add value. Um, and utilities are also an important factor. um, if you're within the city of San Diego, then utilities should not be a problem. Most lots within the city of San Diego are going to have access to water lines, have access to utility lines. But if you're going into the county of San Diego, then you may have to be looking at septic. You may have to look into having a well, not just the ability to drill for a well, but also to have water tables underneath so that you can actually get to water.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
right? And and then of course for a power, sometimes you have access to SDG&E coming in. Sometimes you have to set yourself up to work off the grid, which means that you have to account for bringing solar panels that could be more expensive to
Yeah.
get set up.
Could you possibly hook up utilities from like a main house from the main house towards the ADU?
Um, Anything that you do within the city of San Diego, you would have to get permits for.
Yeah.
So if you were to, share utilities between two units, as long as permits have been issued and you can legally do that, fine and dandy. And But it is definitely something that you would have to apply for, and you'd have to have the authorities allow you to, uh, use the electricity that way.
And how long does usually, getting all those permits take? I mean, I know you have some experience with this. What could be like
Yeah,
a timeline that you're looking at to getting an ADU done?
minimum 3 months, and as long as, let's say, 18 months. Don't want to scare people away out there, but yeah, minimum is 3 months to actually get permits.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then from there start the work, right? And
Right.
rest that take another
Right.
couple, good amount.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
okay, okay,
Um, but I think one thing that is definitely helpful is to know that you have choices, and if you are thinking of selling, there's value to the property that has potential. And if you're thinking of buying, there is definitely value to building, because it would be less than buying.
yeah,
and also that the return on investment is much higher on a multi-unit, be it a multi-unit that has two separate units or a multi-unit with plus an ADU. In other words, single family home plus an ADU. The return on this investment on that is definitely very favorable because you're basically buying the second unit at a discount.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, those are some very good points. I mean, something to consider when you're showing with buyers or sellers, or even for yourself too, as well. Not just for agents, but for everyone
yeah,
out there. Yeah.
yeah. And so speaking of examples, I am thinking of this property that we just sold on Massachusetts, actually, as an example. So let me see if I can pull it and show our audience about that, because uh, if you were to uh, buy this unit by itself, well, if you were to buy either one of these two homes separately, then you would be paying a lot more for this home, right? And the fact that we sold it as two units that
Yeah.
were sold together definitely contributed to the home being much more affordable. So here we have two units, and each one was a two-bedroom, two-bath. One was 1,352 square feet. The other one was two-bedroom, two-bath, 716 square feet. And this sold for 1.8 million. So if you think about it, each unit was basically sold for um,
On a discount, no? Basically,
so each unit was sold for,
like
so total of 1.8 million. So each unit was sold
nine.
for about 900,000,
Yeah.
right? And if this house was to be sold separately, um, then it would be selling for a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So that is, and with a backyard, nice sized backyard, and then this is a second unit, and then to the buyer that actually purchased this property, if you think about it, also there was a lot of savings to be had because because they were able to rent out the other unit,
Yeah.
which then make their payments more affordable for them to move in and be able to afford the house. So yeah, there you have it. Those are some of the points about the some of an example of what it would be to basically buy a two unit.
Yeah.
And now let's also put our information out there that we're running a team, a very successful team in San Diego. And if anyone wants to join our team or get to be part of our masterminds, they can give me a call, or they can give Santiago a call.
There you go.
And also, we are, if they want to send us an email, there's my email, which is also our team email. There's our website. And also, we would appreciate a follow on Instagram, or if they want to get more information about our how to join our team, there is our website there. And
Thumbs
thank
up.
you very much for watching, everybody. And again, if you're watching us on YouTube here, give us a thumbs up and subscribe
Subscribe.
to our channel.
Yep. See you guys on the next one.
All right. Let me make sure that I can get this one off. There we go. Well, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.